back in 1987, Becky and I got married. She was from Loudon, Iowa, from eastern Iowa, grew up on a cattle hog farm, and so she was a farm girl that I was really fortunate enough to meet, and we've been married now for several years. We've got 2 sons, Carl and Matt. Basically, we started out with an 80 acres, and we've expanded that to now to include 320 acres, and we increased that by buying some small farms around the area and spread out the production. So we did start out with just the landrace, but then we expanded to large whites and Duroc. In 1995, we brought a breed called Musclors from France over, and that was a terminal breed that was really useful in France to make hogs better, but make them grow faster, and at that time have really good meat quality. So we had the opportunity to get some Mangalitsa hogs. Mangalitsa is a woolly pig, comes from Hungary. They are really a bright cherry red meat, sort of like beef. They got marbling like a Wagyu. The downfall is they're slow growing and they're very, very fat. I really think that the coalition will still be able to keep going as we expand the livestock industry in the state of Iowa, and the coalition will be a part that, when we look back in history, how come we didn't do it sooner? It will be. So I really think that it's been a great pleasure to work with it over the years, even though we've not had the opportunity at our farm to have to utilize it because we bought operations that were smaller and existing at the time. But if in the future we would ever expand, they'll be the first phone call we ever make. On the breeding side of our operation and the genetic side, that has always been the most intriguing side to me, not only from improving production efficiencies, but now in improving meat quality. We do a lot of testing, performance testing of our swine for the performance side of it, the sow productivity side, of course, through working with nursing sows, number of pigs, milking ability, and that factor. The meat quality work has been way different because you have to grow it out, you got to follow it through. With our drive to produce a higher end, higher quality meat product, which is utilize the Berkshires and the Mangalistas, and the Mangalistas especially have opened up the doors to really a lot of chefs that are really doing a complete nose to tail workup with the pigs. They'll buy the whole carcass and make so many different things out of that. They are wanting the Mangalista because it's, like as I said before, it's a bright cherry red. The marbling's very high in it, but also the flavor is just good old-fashioned pork. Several years ago, I had the opportunities working with the pork board, and Julia Childs was at one of our meetings, and she came up to us and she said, "Guys, what happened to the good old-fashioned pork? It has no flavor any longer." Well, she was right, and this has been several years ago. Well, a lot of chefs still remember the good old-fashioned pork, and so they're wanting that access to that again. Getting into farming has become such a high capital intense project, and it has been very hard for young guys to get into unless that's part of their family and they can get help from the family to do that, or maybe another retired farmer is going to be getting out and looking for someone that he can bring into his operation to continue and to do that operation down the road. But I think if working with young producers, they need to realize that they don't have to get big real quick. They can start out on a smaller scale. They can work with contractors. They can work with different integrators to get started, or they can get into the niche market side of it. Raising families on the farm is by far and far the best way to raise children. It gives them so many responsibilities. It teaches them different facts of life that they can learn. They're not sitting around in front of some TV or some game deal having problems and adapting to society. They're athletically, physically active. We don't have health problems near much in rural Iowa with children being inactive, and there's just the opportunities there, and it's probably the best kept secret when it comes to raising families is being part in rural Iowa.